In 1990, they hosted the World Extreme Skiing Championships, and they brought the best skiers in the world to come up and see the place and to compete. And the idea was to get Valdez, Alaska on the map and show how good and amazing the skiing was here. You know, when I arrived, it was obvious to me this was the best skiing in the world. And we knew it right away when all of us arrived. It was like, wow, this is it. This is the top level of skiing and guiding as far as remote guided aircraft operations. You're going out into terrain that doesn't exist anywhere else, and it's just so vast and so big, and the scale is so large that, you know, you really do have to develop people to understand backcountry protocols when you bring them out there. And the aircraft guiding really began in Canada and then took hold in the U.S. But it was definitely not implementing backcountry protocols. It was guides basically guiding people down the mountains and using each guide as a backup and basically just having the client follow the guide. The best part of Alaska Protocols, we evolved the guiding principles to educating the person you're bringing into the mountains and developing this group team emphasis. They learn how to use safety equipment, the avalanche transceiver, the probe, and they carry a shovel, they carry extra food and warm clothing. The goal is to have them understand it, to implement it, and be a huge part of the day. They're not just going to be following a guide around. They're going to be out there participating and taking on a role within the group to increase the safety, and it also increases what you can access. And this person can take this education into all of the skiing and anywhere in the world. It's just going to make them a much better skier, a much better partner, a much better backcountry traveler. Remote guided aircraft operations is different than a lot of guiding, where you're guiding from the top down. You know, from the summit on the way down the slope. You don't just dig a snow pit at the top and consider it that you've got perfect snowpack. You have to be assessing the whole way down the mountain. It's really dynamic in the way that you do it. In a lot of ways, it gives you a lot more tools to make it safer, but the other side of it is if you miss a step, it can make it even more dangerous than guiding from the bottom up. So it's really important that when you're training guides that you're really teaching them how to assess the snowpack, the route that you're going to take, all the steps you need to make as you descend down a mountain. You look down a slope and, you know, your first time in Alaska, you can't really tell how big it is. It's just, there's nothing to compare it to. You really got to educate people on how big it is and what the scale is and how many feet is it to that rock. And so you're not just guiding them, but you're instructing them on how to ski in bigger mountains. You're instructing them on how to figure out the scale of what they're on. You're out there with a full-on mountaineering pack. You've got your first aid kit, extra warm gear, Prussiks, your Jumars, rope, crampons, ice axe, skiing people down these huge mountains. And then each client and each individual that you're guiding carries safety equipment as well. And you have to educate them how to use this equipment and how to implement this equipment if something did happen. Bringing this person into it and having him take on a responsibility and learning the whole process and how and why you're making decisions is so important. It gives you the ability to provide a higher quality experience, but also makes it a lot more exciting.